Welcome to Where Hope Begins, the Save One Life podcast. I'm your host, Kai, and today we're joined by Usha Parthasarathy, Save One Life's India Program Coordinator. Usha has spent decades strengthening hemophilia care and community acceptance in India, and she's known for something rare, deep compassion with clear, high expectations, because she wants every child to have not just support, but a future. Welcome to the podcast, Usha. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much, Kai. I truly appreciate this, and I hope I deliver the message what I have in my mind clearly. Thank you once again.
Of course. Well, speaking of that message, let's just start with your connection to hemophilia, because I know it's deeply personal. Can you tell us about that?
Honestly, I didn't know anything much about hemophilia until I gave birth to my first son in 1977, though my father was a hemophilic. All I knew, he had pain. Not even, I never realized it was bleeding. All I felt that he had pain in his knee, his ankle, his shoulder, almost everywhere. And he used to suffer a lot. And there was not even a whole blood transfusion those days. It was only given when it is external bleeds, not for the internal bleeds. But then the man with the grit to live, and he lived well too, and he will just bounce back once the bleeding stops. So I honestly didn't know anything about it. But when I was told about my first son, to be honest, I didn't even feel bad about it, because I thought, here is a man living well and, supporting all of us. Not one or two, 5 daughters and 2 sons, and a big family. So I thought, okay, I can manage this. I had no fear at all. But then the bleeds did scare me. And then when I started learning about it, well, I was scared. But then losing my child in an IC bleed, I couldn't take it. And in 1980, when I lost my father in another IC bleed, that was the huge setback in my life.
So it was the loss of both your father and your son.
Yes, it was in a year's gap.
I guess at that time, what was it that you feel like your family needed most, in the kind of early days of your son's diagnosis?
I didn't know anything then. I just needed the strength to withstand that because I was very young.
Sure. And I'm sure you felt alone. So maybe it was the idea of maybe community, others, families who had hemophilia or organizations that were there to help. Do you feel like maybe that was part of what you may have needed at that time?
That was the time I needed the support. That was the time I wanted to know who else is undergoing this and how am I going to cope with this? Because I thought I won't be able to cope without my father. I don't know why I felt that at that time. And I needed support from the families. I needed people to understand. And I needed more information, knowledge. And I should say that my husband was a pillar of support.
Mm-hmm.
My strength, my emotional support, and I can go on and go on.
Yeah.
So when I was struggling with emotions, when I was struggling with everything, he was the one who said, we will look out for help. We can.
Yeah.
By getting help from others, we can help many. Actually, he sowed that seed, When I got the second child, I didn't want to lose him again. So that was when I wanted all the support.
Tell us about the work leading up to the Hemophilia Federation India.
I heard about HFI through my treating physician, but then I didn't know how to reach because that was the time we had no social media, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to a friend of mine in Delhi, and then subsequently we came to know about Mr. Ashok Verma, again my mentor, from whom I learned a lot. And when I reached out to him, though HFI has started, nothing was happening. Nothing. They were also struggling to come up. So that was the time I thought, okay, though they are in Delhi, those days it was far off. By train, it is 2 days and things like that. And it's not that easy to connect with. So then I thought it's okay. I mean, there is somebody there with whom I can travel, I can learn, I can save my child. All that feeling was there then when I met him. That was about 1985.
So this was work that took place in the early to late 80s, through the 90s, and even the early 2000s. And then you were connected to Save One Life. So tell us about how that came about.
Well, actually, Save One Life started with India in 2001.
Yeah, you were the first program coordinator for Save One Life.
Yes. India was the first program partners. And with 40 beneficiaries, we started. And then, of course, the rest of the countries slowly started. So they joined us. But then it was initially India. Save One Life was working through Hemophilia Federation. I left the board of HFI in 2006. And then I was not doing anything for a year. I was busy in my personal work. It was one of the meetings what I attended where I met Laurie and the executive committee members. We were, we were wondering things were not moving the way it should move in India. So we were contemplating how to go about it. And I should say it was Sudha Chandrasekharan pulled me in. She said, you will be able to handle it. And that is how I came in as an Indian program coordinator.
Wow. So I guess tell our listeners who are, meeting and hearing you for the first time, like, how would you describe your role as the India program coordinator for Save One Life?
I connect the program partners with Save One Life, assess their ability to run the project effectively and their ability to give us a report on time, etc. And I felt Save One Life can make difference in many, many poor, needy lives. I walk program partners through the program, make them understand how to prepare the report and how to keep in touch with their wards and things like that. This is what I primarily do.
Got it. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's such important work. And I know that you put an emphasis on visiting families in their homes to look beyond just their health. So can you tell us about the importance of that?
Well, I honestly feel, Kai, that unless and until you visit them in their place, you won't be able to understand their living condition and how far they live from the HTCs and what is the condition of the mother there. She's the primary caregiver and the situation at home living with hemophilia. All that matters a lot. You are giving them a confidence saying there is somebody visiting me and they are going to do something about my life. They are going to change my child's life. That gives me a lot of happiness. I think such joy cannot be explained. That has to be felt. I always tell them, I am a mother. I'm not a coordinator here. I'm a mother of a hemophilic adult boy. So that gives them confidence.
So it sounds like that personal story that you're able to bring into the home gives these families confidence, which, seems like such a small but important part of the work you do. I guess in your experience, what do you feel has made the biggest difference in a family or child's life as you enter these homes?
There are many, many, many kids whose life has changed through Save One Life. And once the boy gets a sponsorship, the mother is the first person to be happy because she is not going to the family member for money to take the boy to the HTC. She has money in her hand to take her son whenever he is in need of it, right? That gives them enormous amount of strength.
Right. And I think to your point, it's not necessarily money for the treatment, it's money to get transportation to the HTC or for a nutritious meal that week or help in school, right? Because Save One Life's mission is more than just medical treatment. It's how do you enrich the
Yes.
life of the family and the child.
Yes. I mean, it actually covers quite a bit. Like some people use it for their school fees. Very poor use it for livelihood, and some it helps in, like you said, transportation not only to the HTC, even to school. It helps. So there are many ways the sponsorship can contribute to the children.
Sure. And I think also going back to maybe what we talked about a little earlier is that when you were first navigating this as a young mother, there was no community for you to tap into or that help that you desperately needed at that time. And now here you are on the other side of that, giving these families maybe what you had needed at that time.
Yes, more than the monetary support, simply because I've gone there to hear their stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I listen to them and I simply tell them, I am with you because I have a son who's an adult now, who's married, who has children. So your child has a fantastic future. So you don't worry about it. I listen to them primarily.
Yeah. And, and speaking of stories, can you share a story of a child or family who was sponsored early on and maybe what their life looks like today as a result of that help?
There are many, Kai.
Oh, I know there are many. Is there just one kind of come to the top or?
Well, the toppers are also many, by the way.
That's a good thing, I suppose.
Yes, excellent. Excellent. I'm very proud. Well, I would say we started with sponsorship, right? And then we started educational scholarship. That has made a lot of difference in their life. Like once they finish their school, the educational scholarship helped them study further. And we are seeing many children in medical school. And there are a lot of engineers, chartered accountants, and technicians. It all depends on their ability. And they made use of the scholarship in such a way, I would proudly say some of them are giving back to the society now. So I can't just go and say one story because if that boy listens to this, he'll say, you didn't talk about me. So
fair enough.
I would say across India, I have many such brilliant boys. From, not a bit of exaggeration, from rags to riches. So we have many like that.
Well, that's about as good of an answer as I could have gotten from you. And I think for any families who are listening, do you have a message of hope that you could share with the listeners with the work you do? Like what makes you get out of bed every day to help these families in need?
Like we have come a long way. If we can change so many lives like this gives me great pleasure and a hope that things will improve, things will change for the boys, and things will change for the family, things will change for the mothers.
For someone listening who wants to help, what's the most meaningful thing that they can do today?
I would say spread awareness about Save One Life, which is very, very important. I would request them to do that. And then I would also invite them to contribute to make difference in a child's future. So that is the message I would say to people.
Fantastic. Well, Usha, thank you so much for being here today. Your story reminds us that, real change doesn't happen from a distance. It happens in homes, through relationships, and through sharing stories. Thank you so much for the work that you do and continue to do and have done in helping never let a child be forgotten. So thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you, Kai, for inviting me to this. I think I have delivered the message properly.
Oh, you absolutely have.
Okay, thank you. And thanks to Save One Life. I keep telling them always that they have given a fullness in my life. And thank you, Save One Life. God bless.
To learn more about Save One Life and how sponsorship transforms lives, visit saveonelife.net/sponsorship. And this has been Where Hope Begins, the Save One Life podcast, one country, one community, and one life at a time. Until next time, everybody, take care. Thank you for listening to Where Hope Begins, the Save One Life podcast, because when one life is supported, generations can be transformed. Presented by Save One Life in partnership with Balancing Life's Issues. Produced by me, Kai. Got an idea for the show? Send me an email at kai@balancinglifesissues.com. Did today's story move you? Sponsor a child at saveonelife.net/sponsorship. Anything else to add, Miles?
Yeah, Dada.